Hello, welcome to TelecomTV. I'm Martyn Warwick and we are at ONS 2014 and I'm talking with Steve Garrison, who is VP of Marketing at Pika 8. What do you do? What's Pika 8 do?
We are a network operating system company, so following the mainframe to PC transition that we see happening with SDN on the network side, we're betting the farm that the market will want to buy hardware and software separately, and by default that means you need operating systems to choose from to put on that bare metal.
That sounds like a good argument, I must admit. So why are you at the Open Network Summit, which is primarily, let's face it, a software event?
Well, first of all, a network operating system hopefully is software if we think about our PCs, right? And secondly, the word open, obviously that's a gray area word. What does that really mean? So one way we think the word open is appropriate is one, we are open to having any hardware. We're hardware agnostic. So we let you work with any ASIC, any hardware manufacturer. That's where our belief that the channel will develop. The second reason we're open is that we work with OpenFlow and believe in the SDN model of a de-aggregated stack and external control planes and that type of thing.
As we see SDN moving from theory to reality and some of the hype being blown away,
right,
and some genuine product coming out there, proof of concept's over,
right,
we're seeing genuine product out there. What's your involvement primarily with SDN? What do you actually do and how do you see it?
Right.
How do you see yourself working with it?
So first of all, we believe that there's a lot of customer interest, and I think you nailed it. Last year was a lot of hype and a lot of thinking and paper studies. This year people are really willing to get dirty, roll up their sleeves, put some budget on the table and build labs. And from the lab environment, we'll get this idea of what is a proof of concept that makes my business run better, faster, cheaper. And so what we bring to the table is the idea and the skill set to help them build a network operating system on a variety of white box switches. And we also bring a lot of expertise in how to use OpenFlow and how to work with, we work with 8 controllers, Martin, because right now the market's still early and not one controller solves everybody's problems. So there's a lot of system integration help that we bring to the table to help customers think through that problem.
So how open is open?
The reason that I'm going to hang my hat on open today is that we do have a standard being driven by over 110 companies that believe in a way to control hardware and software. That's OpenFlow. So if everybody agrees on the way to control, well, why wouldn't that go proprietary? OpenFlow is following that trend of the IETF, the IEEE have built standards that can be implemented in a proprietary way but still give a standards framework for a customer. OpenFlow will be the same way. We're giving people a standard to control each other's gear, and how we build our gear, our software will be the differentiation, the proprietary piece.
Do you not think there's a plethora of standards bodies out there trying to get the, they've got a finger in the pie and they intend on keeping it there?
I think the IEEE and the IETF want to participate in this, and they are. And so the real new guy on the block is OpenFlow and the ONF. But again, it's a slightly different thing. In the past, the control plane was hidden and proprietary, and every vendor had a different implementation for IP and Ethernet technology. This time, we're agreeing, again, from the top-down push from the carriers and the service providers, I want that bit to be open so I can control all of you the same way. It's a new standard for a new way of thinking. I don't think we're going to have 5 more of these, Martin. I think we only have bandwidth as a resource community to do 1 or 2 of these monster efforts at one time. So OpenFlow is a monster effort, SDN is a monster effort. There's 110 companies pushing in the same direction. I think that's the takeaway. There is an agreement and a short list right now on what to do.
You say monster effort, I agree with you, Steve. Have you ever seen anything like this in the history of the industry in the time you've been in it?
Look, Ethernet's been around for almost 30 years or longer, I forget actually, the early 80s,
yeah,
right? IP, not too far after that. Actually, fiber channels and other technologies has been a long time. So my guess is that we're not looking at a 1-year dream or a 2-year dream. This is a 10-year march. And the fact that we're agreeing on something that was really proprietary and truly differentiating for people, their control technology is now becoming public and common, is a huge step, Martin. I think it's the biggest thing since Ethernet in that sense. But as I said before, I think the industry's got its hands full just getting this to work and making sure customers don't lose focus or lose interest if it takes too long or it's too complex, right? We have to make it simple to use.
How do you think, specifically on SDN here, SDN is being presented as a transformative technology of immense power, and it would be of value to CSPs, service providers, and so on. Well, okay, yes, it will help the service providers. Nobody denies or doubts that.
Right.
What about their customers, the end users, you and I, when we're not at work?
Yeah.
What will they get out of it?
I think initially the end user is not going to get anything out of it, and nor should we expect to, right? What we want as end users, let me take a step back, is what I want, I call it click and go. I hate to click and wait. I don't think anybody on this video wants to click and wait. And hopefully if this video is streaming clearly, we've achieved the idea of ubiquitous bandwidth everywhere. But let's think about we're on a portal or a website, or we call our service provider and we want a new service. The death of that service provider is hang on, I need to talk to the network guys and get back to you in a few weeks. We want to click and go. I have a new service idea, I want my provider to turn it on within hours. If I'm lucky, minutes. If really lucky, seconds. So that's the dream that we want from the consumer side, but to fix this, you have 30 years of installed technology that doesn't react that way. So again, I think day one, the consumer won't see anything. What will happen though is that, you know the trend, traffic's going like this, revenue's flatter down, and OpEx is tracking with traffic. So they are going to all go out of business, and we're going to all be disappointed if we can't figure out how to solve this problem. So if we can help them understand that if they build it, we will stay, I think that's the right message. And I think they already know that. They know we want to click and go and not click and wait. That's why they're really spending a lot of time figuring out how to reduce OpEx and make infrastructure more agile.
Steve Garrison, thank you very much indeed.
Thanks a lot, Martin. It's great to be here.